It was in the, let's see, it was the early 90s. I started doing shows in and around the Philadelphia area. People's Light put out an audition announcement for African American actors for a radio play. So I answered it, got hired. And the first time I came out here, I looked around this place and I said, I like this. I like this place. And I guess I auditioned a couple of years in a row, and Abby and Melanie Finister came to D.C., and which is where I was living. And I went to that audition. This was my third audition for People's Light. And I walked in the door, and Melanie was standing she was the greeter, and she said, "Oh, girl, I'm so glad to see you. We need you so." And so I auditioned, and the rest is history, you know. I have to tell you this. There was an actor who worked here, Babs Pinto, that's who it was, who is now deceased. And Babs was, pulling on her cigarette, and she says, "You know what I like about People's Light?" And I said, "No, Babs, what do you like about People's Light?" She said, "No one takes themselves seriously." And it's so true. Well, I think the script or the story, I should say, is just wonderful. I think anybody that writes about dreams, anybody that tells a story about dreams and what goes on in people's hearts and minds, in their conscious and unconscious state, it's intriguing, it's exciting, and it's the fantasy world, which involves the dream world. All of it is intriguing and exciting for me, and I love this story. But the woman who plays the role of the foster mother is kind of I look at her like the anchor in the play, because her home is the sort of like the safe house for the little boy John, because he has gone through so much in his life. He's encountered so much. It's some joy, some unhappiness. He's been on a roller coaster, and he meets the woman, and he comes to her house, and that roller coaster stops for a minute, and it gives him the opportunity to breathe and think and start to think for himself, as opposed to doing what everybody tells him to do and being where everybody. He begins to grow into a real person, because the woman has created a safe environment for him where he can heal. But I have to say, this show is the first time that I have worked with a non-adult person as a scene partner. I've been in shows with children, but I've never worked with a child actor before. And if you know me, I'll tell you in a minute, I don't like children. I never have. I love them. I have nothing but the greatest amount of love and respect for them. I think they're our greatest resource, but I have difficulty with them. But this young man, this young actor, Daniel, is exceptional. He's very special. Aside from being bright, he's got something going on in here that a lot of children don't have, and Daniel has it, and I'm grateful for that. I'm having a good time working with this little boy, and whoever thought I'd say that?